History was a mistake.
Human history contains wars nicknamed after a bucket, a pig, an ear, pastries, football, rapsters, earmos, a dog, a kettle, and bird poop. Somehow, diplomacy still had office hours. We're ranking the gap between the ridiculous nickname and the serious reality. These include wars, border clashes, military operations, and armed standoffs, not 10 identical flavors of chaos.
Every entry gets two versions, the meme people remember and the political mess they ignored. Because no, a croissant did not wake up, choose violence, and invade Mexico.
Number 10. The Kettle War. The Dutch had long restricted navigation on the Scheldt, limiting Antwerp's access to the sea. Emperor Joseph II wanted that commercial chokehold opened.
Send the vessel through. Either the Dutch allow passage, or they admit their river policy is enforced by cannon. Send the vessel to where? That is a surprisingly expensive way to ask for directions.
They hit the lunch!
Then lunch has received the diplomatic message.
The naval encounter ended after that shot, but the political dispute continued into threats, mobilization, and negotiation. The kettle became the headline because complex sheet diplomacy has terrible thumbnail energy.
Number 9. The 1925 incident at Petric, nicknamed the War of the Stray Dog. Greece and Bulgaria already had a tense militarized frontier. Then somebody crossed the line. Private, get back here! Stop at the border! The later popular version says a Greek soldier chased his dog cross and was shot. Greek authorities gave another account. Bulgarian troops crossed first and killed a captain and sentry. What is certain is that Greece invaded, and a border clash became a deadly crisis.
The League of Nations intervened, Greece withdrew, and compensation followed. The dog story may be true, but it is not proven. History's cutest suspect has diplomatic immunity. Number 8. The Lobster War. In the early 1960s, Brazil challenged French boats harvesting spiny lobsters near its northeastern coast. Then, marine biology became international law with warships.
Lobsters move through the water, so they are fishery resources available beyond your territorial sea. They live on our continental shelf. Your legal lobster has suspiciously convenient swimming lessons.
Brazil boarded or expelled French fishing vessels and sent naval ships. France reinforced its presence. Nobody fired, but both governments brought enough steel to make dinner extremely geopolitical. Brazil's famous comeback was basically this: if a lobster becomes a fish because it moves through water, then a jumping kangaroo deserves bird status. That is not how trapitality works. Exactly. The dispute ended through diplomacy, not battle. So Lobster War means an armed maritime standoff, not fleets exchanging broadshides over garlic butter. Still, the warships were very real. Number 7. Australia's Emu War. It was not a declared war against a bird government. It was a 1932 military killing operation after large emu flocks damaged struggling wheat farms. Veteran settlers already faced falling wheat prices and harsh conditions. Migrating emus broke fences and ate crops, so the government sent Major Meredith, soldiers, and Lewis guns.
Wait until they group together.
They were grouped together!
Then they became separate military districts with legs. We could mount the gun on the truck.
Excellent. Combine inaccurate fire with suspension designed by a chair falling downstairs.
The birds are gaining.
The later operation killed some birds, but ammunition use and practical results looked embarrassing. The emus were mobile, dispersed, and extremely unwilling to form a respectable firing line.
The military operation ended. Later control relied more on bounties, farmers, and fencing. The emus did not conquer Canberra. They merely won the internet 80 years early.
So far, trade route, disputed border, fishing rights, and crop damage. The silly names are real. The simple explanations are not. Next, one pig unlocks actual cannons. Number 6. The Pig War. San Juan Island sat inside an unresolved U.S.-British boundary. On June 15, 1859, beach behind. Lyman Cutley found a Hudson's Bay Company pig rooting in his garden.
I offered to pay for the pig, threatened arrest. Apparently the animal had better diplomatic protection than I did. The pig did not create the boundary dispute. It exposed it.
Captain George Pickett, 64 men. We are here to protect American settlers.
From anything that looks British and emotionally committed to livestock.
You want me to involve two great nations in war over a squabble about a pig? No. Technically, it is also about sovereignty. Then lead with sovereignty. By late August, hundreds of American troops and multiple cannons faced British ships with dozens of guns. Yet, officers attended church, shared whiskey, and somehow avoid becoming the world's worst group chat.
Both nations reduced forces and jointly occupied the island for 12 years. Arbitration in 1872 awarded the islands to the United States. The only fatality of the crisis was the pig. Number 5 War. A French pastry chef known as Monsieur Remontal said Mexican officers had damaged or looted his shop and demanded compensation.
My pastries have become foreign policy.
But Remtel was not the whole case. France collected multiple complaints from French nationals amid years of instability, property damage, debt, and unequal commercial arrangements.
France demands 600,000 pesos in compensation. Payment has not arrived. Therefore, the invoice will now be delivered by naval blockade. French forces bombarded and captured the fortress of San Juan de Ura, then occupied Veracruz. Mexico declared war. This had officially moved beyond an angry bakery review. Mexico requires a hero. Conveniently, I have arrived with excellent posture. Santa Anna was wounded during the fighting, and the episode helped revive his political image. British mediation helped end the conflict in 1839. Mexico agreed to pay the French claim package, and France withdrew. The pastry supplied the nickname, naval coercion supplied the ending. Verdict. The pastry complaint was real, memorable, and politically useful. It was not France's only grievance. History compressed a messy intervention into one extremely clickable dessert. Halfway through, the pattern is obvious. Tiny incident, giant unresolved problem. Now we enter the category where one body part and one football become a better propaganda than the actual causes. Number 4, the War of Jenkins Ear. Britain wanted access to Spanish-American markets. British merchants also smuggled. Spanish Coast Guard searched ships, and both sides accused the other of abuse. In 1731, Spanish Coast Guards boarded my ship. During the confrontation, my ear was cut off. Patrol suspected illegal trade. That does not improve the customer experience. Ni don't buy. Years later, Jenkins's case became ammunition for British politicians demanding a harder line. He testified, but some famous details about displaying a preserved ear are less secure than the broader incident.
Spain attacks British sailors, obstructs trade, and insults the nation!
I would prefer my ear not become campaign branding. Britain declared war in 1739.
The war became a major imperial conflict across the Caribbean. Britain's huge expedition against Cartagena de Indias failed disastrously, with disease and logistics doing more damage than the famous ear ever could.
The conflict merged into the wider War of the Austrian Succession. The ear was a symbol, not the full cause. But trade and imperial rivalry once again lost the branding meeting. Number 3. The Football War between El Salvador and Honduras in 1969. Their World Cup qualifiers were tense, violent, and politically explosive, but the scoreboard did not create the war. Each home side won before El Salvador took the playoff. Yumachaucha? Fans faced intimidation and violence. Newspapers and radio amplified every grievance. Football became an emotional accelerator.
The deeper crisis involved unequal land ownership, population pressure in El Salvador, Salvadoran migrants living in Honduras, Hon land reform, Honduran planned till-up expulsions, and nationalist politics on both sides.
Our citizens have been attacked and displaced. Diplomatic relations are broken.
On July 14th, El Salvador launched air attacks and a ground invasion. The match was context, not a declaration of war. The fighting lasted roughly 100 hours before an Organization of American States ceasefire. Casualty estimates vary, but civilians suffered heavily, and large numbers of Salvadorans were displaced. Verdict: football intensified hatred and gave the conflict its unforgettable name. Land, migrations, expulsions, and political choices produced the war. Blaming the ball lets the adults escape the replay. Number 2, the bucket. Fought between Bologna and Modena in 1325. The viral version says Modena stole a bucket, Bologna demanded it back, and everybody mobilized. Joja?
Modena and Bologna had years of border conflict and belonged to rival political camps supporting imperial and papal power. So the bucket has not entered the cause yet.
The major clash came at Zappino, where Modena defeated Bologna. The causes were strategic and political. The famous bucket probably appeared after the victory as a trophy. We stole the bucket after winning.
Future people will say it started everything.
That is much better for tourism.
Why got like origins, it would spider only coaster rate 2 rank.
Later literature turned the stolen bucket into an epic symbol, and Modena still displays a bucket linked to the story. The object survived because it is funnier than factional politics. Number 1. The Chincha Islands War, sometimes reduced to a guano war. In the 19th century, seabird droppings were valuable fertilizer and a major source of Peruvian revenue.
Spain occupies the Chincha Islands pending satisfaction of its demands.
Those islands are Peruvian territory and central to our economy.
The poop was valuable. The sovereignty crisis was pricelessly dangerous.
The crisis widened. Chile joined the conflict, and Peru, Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia formed an alliance against Spain. This was post-colonial power politics with fertilizer money underneath it. Spain bombarded Valparaiso and later attacked Calado, where stronger defenses answered back. By this point, nobody was fighting over a bag of fertilizer in isolation. Spain withdrew from the South American coast. Guano mattered because it financed Peru and attracted strategic attention. But sovereignty, national honor, and Spain's relationship with colonies drove the wider conflict. Final verdict. Buckets, pigs, ears, pastries, footballs, lobsters, emos, dogs, kettles, and guano make excellent headlines. Unresolved borders, trade, land, empire, and human decisions make wars. The objects were innocent. We were the weird part.
wait, that's not what happened!
Close enough.